we are on.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Health for April 13th, 2026. We're going to start off with introductions. I am Michael Roach.
Good evening, I'm Sheila Peralt.
Good evening, I'm Echo Lamar.
Good evening, I'm Carrie Owen, the Health Director.
And I'm Lisa Gibbon, the assistant.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to start with opening up the meeting with citizen and business time. Citizen or business owners may address the Board of Health on matters of interest to the public.
Michael, I'm sorry to interrupt. We also have Alex Castro.
Oh. Up there on the screen. Hi.
Yes.
Hello, Alex Castro, the Town Council of Retail and Costa. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing? Thank you very much. Okay, open up the meeting with citizen business time. Not seeing any citizens or business. We'll move on to the second item on the agenda, which is body work regulations. Okay, do you want to
Okay.
introduce?
So the reason we want to do this body work regulation is because we have a couple of places that been practicing massage without a license, and then they claim they're doing body work, which is exempt from the Massachusetts licensing requirements, and we usually this, at least one of the establishment, we always get like new therapists, and every time we meet with them, they're like, it's a new person. So we want to, that's why I contacted Alex to see if we can introduce a body work regulation to see if we can license the establishment as well as the therapists. Alex, do you want to walk us through the regulation?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit lengthy, but we like this template. I modified this based on the most recent updates, and based upon my recent experience with, as I discussed with the town administrator, with body work establishments, some of the problems that commonly go along with them, which is why I advise you guys adopt this policy, which, you know, it's a bit lengthy. It's not too crazy, but you really need all this in place to be able to enforce any misconduct and to ensure that there are no health concerns. The main thing, as Kerry said, is that with massage therapists, that's state jurisdiction. The Board of Health, town has nothing to do with it except for providing them with a business license, you know, and meeting building code and all that. But as far as the business of massage therapy, that's all the state. Right, but with body work, a town can opt to permit it, subject to Board of Health regulations. The Board of Health's authority is very broad when promulgating regulations like this under Section 31. What this really does is just gives the Board of Health extensive authority to inspect and to, if necessary, suspend or revoke a body art license. It also prohibits a lot of the illicit and unhealthy practices that regrettably occur more than one would like in the Commonwealth at this time. I've dealt with this in many other of our client municipalities. I mean, we can go through, I mean, the definitions are pretty standard. The requirements are pretty standard. And one of the things that we try to avoid is obviously any type of sexual services performed for money, which is a common occurrence, regrettably. That and also, you know, there are other prohibitions to avoid other things we find at these establishments, such as you can't have someone living there. Oftentimes, and I spoke to the town administrator about this. Often, you know, what they discovered in some recent investigations is that you go into one of these joints and you see this little cot, a little kitchenette, a little setup for someone living there. And we don't want to completely prohibit business owners performing, providing these services legitimately. However, these services are subject to abuse, as I just described, and especially human trafficking as well. And just so you know, so you don't think that these regulations are too burdensome or overbroad, there are currently multiple federal, state, and municipal police investigations and other municipalities in the Commonwealth into body work facilities. Which is, I was trying to explain why they're so extensive, why they do what they do, and what we're trying to accomplish with them. And I'm happy to entertain any questions. You want to go through a line by line, you know, or you want to take a quick glance at it. I'm in no hurry. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have a couple.
It obviously contains language for, you know, an appeal. Yes.
Yeah, just a couple of questions, like, general questions. In doing something like this, does it legitimize the field of body work by offering a permit?
You don't have to. You don't have to allow it. You don't have to allow it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one of those things. I'm even looking at one of the regulations to even complete the actual body work license would be like, you know, you have to establish kind of what massage therapy is, establish an actual licensing board. You know, like this is to me it reads.
Well,
I'm sorry. To me, it reads like massage light. We're not going to do full massage. We're going to do light stuff, but then, like, look at everything that.
Yeah.
They'll just change the name of it tomorrow
Yeah.
if I come up with something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my assignment was to give you guys regulations to consider. Whether you want to, and I'm here for you. You know, whether you want to, if you want to ask me, and if you want to get an opinion on whether you can just prohibit it in its entirety, I'm happy to support you there as well and see what we need to do that. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now that there are some due process concerns with doing a moratorium once you've allowed it.
Yeah.
So, again, if you are to allow it, these would be the regulations we'd say you should accept.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy to write an opinion as to whether or not you can disallow it in its entirety.
Yeah, because it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I know what we're.
And as a yeah.
I'm sorry, the delay is it's too long of a delay.
I mean, I'm going to invite this. This is going to be practical advice, not necessarily legal. This is from my experience dealing with this. If you do allow it, it is very onerous. And again, I don't want to impugn, you know, the integrity of any legitimate business who wants to provide legitimate services, this or anyone else. However, once you do allow it and issues arise, the owners of these types of businesses tend to be very persistent and demand a lot of a board of health or health department staff. Which is to say, you know, it requires inspectors to go out and check it out and see if there's a violation. It requires review of the documentation that the licensed bodywork therapists have to provide. It's a lot of work. And if you are unlucky enough to have a licensee that gives you issues, you're going to be on the phone with town council a lot. Whoever, probably Kerry, or whoever's handling the administration of the health department. And that's totally up to you guys. You know, it's, again, I have no opinion legally or otherwise as to why this service is a problem. More often than it ought to be, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the other question I would have is stuff that we've thought about that could make its way into town are things like med spas. And nurses like starting IVs randomly in a back hall somewhere. Like, so it's because we haven't come up with a regulation yet. I think people are of the mindset that I can just start doing something by going to and get a business permit and just open something. And I'm just asking in general, if it's not sanctioned by the Board of Health, should they be operating in general? Or do we have to come up with something that says, if you're doing anything with the storefront that is of health, wellness, anything like that, you have to come to the Board of Health first to see if this is even a legitimate business to the public in general. Like, something could come down tomorrow. I mean, I don't know if they can just start handing out GLP-1s tomorrow for some over-the-counter reason and just not doing it up to code,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Board of Health, I'm telling you right now, if you want to figure out the best way to ban something, and I remember researching this extensively during the pandemic. I mean, the Board of Health, on Chapter 111, I mean, you guys have some power. So, you tell me what you want to do, and I represent you, you know, and, you know, I'm not, I want, you know, if I thought that you were doing something unlawful or that would harm the town or the public, you know, the public interest, and I'd obviously say so, but it's in your discretion how to, you know, obtain your statutory, you know, purpose on a Chapter 111, and I'm here to help you do that. If you want these establishments, these are the regs to do it. This business, for whatever reason, is troublesome.
Yeah.
In any municipality that I've dealt with, and I'm thinking of one right now. I mean, God, they probably, how many hours I spent with the poor health administrator, dealing with this, and going back and forth between the licensee, over different disputes and poor practices, just the administrative part, you know, just license, you know, therapists, documentation, disputes, let alone, you know, what happened when the police show up in the health department, you know, the health inspector shows up and finds, you know, things they have to deal with. So I would advise that you look at these regulations, think about this business, this type of business, whether you want it there, and then we can maybe talk about where you want to go from there.
Yeah, I think even on top of what I brought up about the med spas, we've been talking about that. There's no official licensing body in the state for med spas. And we're like, oh, somebody's just gonna open one and then we're gonna find about it after the fact. And we don't have a regulations, and then,
Yeah, and
you know.
So people open up med spas too, because I've dealt with the Body Works pretty extensively. So what are these med spas? I apologize if I'm.
Yeah, you would probably know a little bit more, but it's
Familiar.
more like they start with like a nurse practitioner or somebody of
Yeah.
some mid-level type of healthcare professional, maybe get a doc to, you know, sign off on both dermatology
yeah.
and stuff like that, and then it fits into this category is that nobody really owns it, and then so they're not regulated by anyone in particular, where we can point to estheticians or we can point to
Yeah.
massage stuff, and we can't really do that. It's because we're not really that, and this just reminds me of it. This is, again, beautifully written. I would like not change a word, but I'm also like, all right, if we pass something like this, do we put a moratorium on it? But then you can't put a moratorium on it forever. But then I would rather write this so that is if.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You're right. Once you adopt it, you're kind of there. And again, we could adopt. We could look at adopting the regulation saying you just can't have these.
Yeah.
We could look at that.
Yeah.
We could look at that.
I'm looking at.
Because I'm telling you right now, any town who's adopted these regulations and allowed it, they want to get rid of it. They want them all gone.
Yeah.
Any town is.
And that's what I'm kind of up against too, because I almost want them like gone, because I would rather, if somebody wants massage therapy, go to a massage therapist. I mean, they've got schools, they got training, good profession, good name,
500 hours.
500 hours. Like, I'm almost about to put all that stuff in here too. So
Yeah.
you gotta almost be a massage therapist before I take it a step back. And, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, and the other good thing about the massage therapist part, you don't have to worry about their licenses. That's a state deal.
that's a state
With
deal.
Body Works, you guys gotta look at the documentation for these licenses.
Mhm.
It's all on the, the health department. I know the Board of Health and Public Servants who just meet, you know, I know how it works, but it's gonna be the health department and staff you really have to eat it.
So I got another quick question. Could we adjust the regulations, because we have the Board of Health behind us, to say something that it has to be almost up until, like you have to do 500 hours in a massage therapy, blah, 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 to get said body work license from the town of Tyngsborough? And then the person is gonna be like, why don't I just become a massage therapist? Why am I gonna do all this just to get the body work? So it's almost like nobody can
Yeah.
reach that bar?
I could look into that. I mean, again, I would advise that you, any changes you want to make, have a look at it, chop it apart, redline it, make some comments, and then send it back to me.
So, how, do you know of any city or towns, Alex, that, have a regulation that totally deny, body works, establishments?
I think Weymouth just, hold up, let me double check. I think Weymouth just did a moratorium as a, hold up.
But is there a regulation that said there should not be, a body works is not allowed within the town of Tyngsborough? Is that acceptable? Is that what we were thinking of, that, unless you're a
To be
establishment?
I mean, I think we could do that, and that could be the regulation. Most towns either don't have regulations, don't really know they're going on, and once they have, they do a moratorium. I can get some examples of a regulation that prohibits them entirely.
I think,
I'll have a little look, but,
I think the issue that I have is that there's no level of education. All you have to do is be 18 years of age and show 2 pictures, and then you can do a massage in town. Like the Corey story within the last 10 years, I'm just wondering, like, so what if you do something now, we're not gonna catch you?
Or they weren't even here in the last 10 years. They were
Right.
like, I just moved.
Right.
yeah.
The CPR I didn't like, that only one person has to be CPR certified. Well, if that person's not in the establishment and somebody
Okay.
has a heart attack,
Yep.
they're in trouble. But I personally do not support Body Works in the town of Tyngsborough.
Yeah.
Would be where I'm coming from for right now.
Yeah, in June, I'm looking at the Weymouth moratorium. Where is it? June 9th, 2025. Yeah, this is by the mayor. I do immediately impose a revised moratorium on all body works establishments. Oh God, they did it for massage therapy too. Yeesh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I think you should do is, I think you all, I would encourage that you take a look at these, mark it, tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want to do, and then I will, and in the end, while you're doing that, I will give you the best way to prohibit them from existing in the town. So we can kind of have those 2 options to work with, then you can just decide.
Wouldn't it make the most sense to prohibit both Body Works and massage therapy, so Body Works can't use the claim, we allow massage therapy in town? That's discriminatory against us who just wanna do Body Works.
There's no legal basis for that.
There's no-
I mean, I understand optically, you could say you only want this, you don't want us, but, I mean, it's the Board of Health, as your duty is to protect the public health under Chapter 111. And if in your opinion, based upon, legitimate concerns and sound data, that there's a health risk of having these establishments, then there's no real basis to say, well, you're discriminating against Body Works. That's not a protected class legally in any meaningful way. Yeah. So, I mean, and again, if you want me to see if you can ban those 2, sure.
I mean,
Sure. I mean, I can see to what,
Yeah.
schools and
Yeah,
education stuff.
I don't necessarily have a problem with massage therapists because they are licensed, they're educated, they have to do, 500 hours of service before they independently can
Yeah.
practice. So there's enough standards for
Yeah.
their art to be safe when they finally get to a client. There's no standards here at all. And
Well, yeah.
that's where I get concerned,
Yeah, I mean, your point's well taken. And believe it or not, there's actually pending state legislation to take this matter on, by the way. Yeah, but no, you're entirely correct. I mean, this is the best we can do, given how nebulous and amorphous the term body work is. This is really the best we can do with regulations.
Okay.
And again, I'm happy to modify once you have a look. But and I will also take a look into the extent that we can just ban the bodywork and/or massage therapy altogether, and take a look at that as well.
I mean, your whole definition here is like fantastic. Like I would take like everything of the bodywork therapy, and just be like, you're doing this. This is not allowed in Tyngsborough yet, and almost force them to come to the board to be like, okay, I'm a reputable licensee or masseuse or somebody, Reiki or whatever. Great. What was your education so I can get this down so I can get it into the regulations? But to look at the whole thing and there's no one education, like the poor tattoo guys. I mean, God, we have them like for a year documenting what type of patients, what they've done. And,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't think there's any. I don't think there's any equivalent education for body work as there is for body art or massage therapy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, so.
I would also like to look at like med spas in the same mindset of like, I just don't think somebody can open up a shop of something without the Board of Health, like, yeah, let me look at that,
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, happy to. Yeah.
I mean, we don't do anything to gyms. If somebody were to open up a CrossFit gym, right? It's
No,
just
not really.
yeah.
Not really, only when there's complaints that come in, then we'll go and check it out for.
But it would be for like
issues,
sanitary, it would be for, not people improperly lifting weights or what have you. No, like it was seriously,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or getting injured or something like that, but personal training, you can get into this, like linking it, I used to be a personal trainer, but like you're working with clients and like we don't regulate, gyms in that way. So it's just weird that they can just start working on people and there's nothing to say, what was their education? Should you be
Yeah.
working on this client? Stuff like that. So that's where I'm just trying to figure out in general, like how can these just start? And I'd rather have,
Yeah.
it's weird, and I don't know, maybe from a lawyer's point of view, is like, just because we don't regulate it, it means it's sanctioned to go ahead and do, or it's just because there's no, regulation on, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I guess I'm trying to say. Like, if we don't regulate it, why do they think they're safe to start?
Yeah. Fair enough. And again, your authority and your purpose under Chapter 111 with respect to public health is pretty broad. So, and again, you have a lot of discretion. You can allow as many bodywork establishments as you want, or you could, And we have one client. They wanted to limit it to only 2 shops. No, it was 3 shops because they already had regulations. And they said that every time someone turns in a license, that quota disappears and it's down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
If they turn in a license or the business closes, that so yeah, it's you guys really got. I mean, you have to have a look at, like I said, have a look at the regulations, see what you want to do to them, if anything. And then, I'm happy to look into just saying no-go for either med spa, body work, or massage. And to give you language that would do that, an instrument that would do that.
That's reasonable, you can do that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely reasonable.
Yeah, and again, no decisions need to be made today. We're just kind of taking a look at all this and seeing what you guys want to do.
Does
Do you want to,
chapter 111 help you inspect any of these places, or you just can't go in there without like probable cause of something?
I mean, there has to be some public health concern of some sort.
Okay.
yeah,
You can't just say, it's the shady businessman, we're gonna come knocking on your door, bust on in, there has to be, but, yeah. I mean, you have to weigh that too, like, would it be better just to have them go on and, not tell you about it, or, yeah. I mean, and these are practical concerns.
Was this a templated body work regulation from like other towns?
Different towns have different ones. This is the most recent, and I modified it a bit.
Okay.
And I just I checked everything for updates. I reworked it. There's some, I didn't like the one that we did in some of our client towns. There was one town that I found that had the most recent one with the best language that I preferred. This was it. They're all kind of similar, right? They're all gonna, because with regulations like this, you look back, someone comes up with it, and everyone kind of tosses it around and messes with it for a few decades, and they all kind of have the same genesis. But I based upon the work I've done with revising others, our other client municipalities, one of which was this year, I just did one. This is what I think the best one is, if you're gonna have one. And again, you can put in things that you want, if you want, that are more onerous, and I'll tell you whether they're so onerous as to be not legal, and we can go from there.
Okay.
So when you look at the section on advertising, there's a question comes up there in terms of a business owner's First Amendment rights in how they choose to advertise or where they choose to advertise. Isn't that a gray area that could cause problems?
Hold up, what section are you looking at specifically?
8, advertising.
Gotcha, hold up.
Basically saying you can't do it.
I haven't heard of a First Amendment. No, I mean, I haven't heard of a First Amendment challenge to that provision. Again, it would be that it would be a public health concern, and I mean, somebody could challenge that. I would not say that there's zero First Amendment exposure. I haven't heard of a challenge, First Amendment challenge to that.
And with respect to, a license not being granted because someone has a criminal history, is there a definition of what criminal activities prohibit somebody from having the license? I understand if somebody is a sex offender, that makes a lot of sense, but what other what other crimes that someone has or was convicted of would prohibit them? And also I have to think about the situation where if somebody is punished by going to prison or jail, they've served their time. Why should society punish them further by limiting their ability to be employed?
I mean, that's a moral question on which I have no opinion. Again, the Board of Health's job is to protect public health, and it's in their sound discretion to weigh how much they want to do that against those considerations. That's not really a legal consideration. Usually the legal standard is, in the public interest, right? And it's kind of like with alcohol licenses, right? Like Section 12 licensed to serve alcoholic beverages, you know, the licensing authority, which is usually the town, it's the select board, you know, they can consider a vast array of things to consider whether the applicant is fit, right, is fit to serve the public. Kind of like also a police chief can determine whether an applicant for a firearms license is fit, right? It's a fitness determination to have that license to carry a firearm, even though the Second Amendment protects their right to do so. So I would think about it similarly. That goes here for the criminal history question. As to the First Amendment question, I haven't seen the challenge here. Could a viable legal argument be made that it does violate the First Amendment? Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen a challenge though. And again, if the board doesn't like that provision, I mean, it's up. This is yours. This is your regulations. You know, and I can advise, but ultimately it's your choice what you want to do with this. Yeah, and I mean, and again, the reason that the regulations are so onerous for this industry is because for whatever reason, it ends up with a lot of illicit activity, from performing sex acts for money to human trafficking, and the stuff I've seen, and I've read all the police reports. It's nasty, and it's not, especially the human trafficking stuff too. Just it's not good. Yeah. And again, the criminal history really goes to fitness, right? No one has a right to a license. They have to apply, and it's up to whoever the authority is. In this case, the Board of Health. With a firearms license, it's the chief of police. With an alcohol license, it's the select board. It's really up to them to determine who's fit. And another reason the advertising section would survive a First Amendment challenge is because speech that appeals to the period interest is often not protected, which is to say, for the same reason adults can't run around nude in the street, sexually suggestive advertisements would also be prohibited. Again, and this is not to say that interesting legal issues wouldn't arise should that be challenged on First Amendment grounds.
So how does the board want to move on with this?
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was just asking the board.
How do we move on?
I mean, I would encourage. I would encourage no votes to be taken on the matter tonight. I think you should really take it under advisement, and I can get you an option as to banning them outright, and then in the interim, you can all individually even just redline that draft, which I think Kerry has in Word that I gave her, or mark it up with a pen, PDF it to me. you know, I mean, if you don't like a provision, or if a provision rubs you the wrong way, like with Section 8 and the advertising, you mark it up and tell me what you like, and I'll tell you, you know, and I'll respond. But it's your, these are your regulations, so you should.
I think we should table it
Yeah.
for tonight.
Take a vote to, table it, take it under advisement, and then,
Yeah.
bring it back to the next meeting.
Yeah, and then if he can work on.
Of course, and if, Carrie, if you could let me know the date, so a few days in advance, I could have prepared you know, just a brief explanation and recommendation as to what a ban would look like.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
So I can tell you right now when our next meeting will be. It would be May 11th.
Okay,
Is that
got it.
Before or after the election?
May 11th is, town meeting's the 5th, the election is the 19th, right?
Okay, so good, everyone on the board would be here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion that we table the body art regulations.
Are we here a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion to tables on the table. All right, Sheila, how do you vote?
In favor.
Echo.
In favor.
And I am in favor as well. We'll table these until the next meeting.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet everybody, by the way. Thanks so much. Any questions, let Carrie know, just send them on to me, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you.
That
Thank you.
actually will be helpful, because I'll probably email you to.
Yeah,
I have a
I'll send
question.
you the word, and you can just even like, make correction there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, all
Awesome.
right.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, appreciate it. Good night.
Bye. Night.
Connection stuff. Okay, so next up on the agenda is body art regulation update.
Can we, I guess, move it to go to the third item and then come back to firework? The fee schedule.
Oh, you would go to number 4, fee schedule, and then back to body art. Okay.
If that's all right.
Yep, we'll move on to number 4 and then go back. Okay, so fee schedule. Okay.
So, right now, who we have doing, because we haven't hired a regional health inspector yet, we have, a consultant group to go and do inspections for us. So what I've been finding is that, when he goes to the first inspection, he writes down all the violations, and then he go back to do re-inspection. And that's when we're hoping that everything is corrected, but not everything is corrected. So he has to go to a third or a second or third re-inspections, and every time it goes out, it costs us money.
Okay.
So what I wanna propose to the board is, for a second or third re-inspection, we should be fining them $150, if you think it's too much, $100, per re-inspection. And then if after the second or third re-inspections, there's still violations, I like to bring them before the board and just say, why hasn't this been corrected? And it will be up to the board to like either shut them down a few days, make sure that they're, correct those violations, or fine them further for not, for violating the food code. Whatever you find that's fit, but I think the fact that we are, that they're gonna be fined this, after the first re-inspection, that there's still violations left over, that, there's gonna be a fee associated with it. May, light the fire under, to get them moving on making sure that all the, violations are corrected.
So they go do a re-inspection to fix the initial, like, so they inspect, is that fee on here, or is that not on here?
No, it's not on it.
So they get the first one free of charge?
Yes, so they get the first inspection, which is the initial surprise inspection, and usually we find violations on it. And then we said, I'll come back in 2 weeks to re-inspect.
But they'll have that conversation, because something might not be able to be fixed in a week or two, or it depends, or whatever.
Yeah, so
Okay,
if,
so they're in contact with,
yeah,
Yeah.
so if there's like large items like replacing the floor or,
Yeah.
you know,
ceiling.
that we can work with them. It's
Yep.
like, that's understandable as long as they give us, a work order that said, hey,
Yeah.
it's in the work, we're gonna get this fixed. That is not an issue, but for other violations where it's like, we ask you to clean that, refrigerator and it's still the same way. And, you know, an inspector shouldn't have to go back and check to make sure that's done.
Mhm.
Is there a standard re-inspection fee with the towns that are working together, sharing an inspector?
Yeah, so one town, I think which, they write out fines for like the initial inspections, if there's some violations. So that's within the coalition, and I think gets very expensive for, restaurants. And then for the other towns, there's really not like a re-inspection fines within the other 3 communities. We
Okay.
would be the second one to impose this, but there are other cities and towns that do impose fines. Can be like $50, $100, and I think, you know, for us, I'm suggesting $150. For each inspection that Mogen goes to, I think it's, depending on the, type of inspection, I think it's like around $100 when they go out and do an inspection.
I think if you're feeding people between 26 and 100 seats, where we're asking for a food permit of 200, why isn't this like 550 to come back up? I mean, it's a big number of people to feed. I mean, we could also set it up, because since it's per food establishment,
Mm-hmm.
we could also do a tiered pricing, like make it so that it's like, set, fix it. You know? I mean, I think people will fix it if they know that there's enough of a penalty.
Yeah, yep. And then even like after the third re-inspection where they have like, there's a potential of them being closed down because,
Well, I think you gave them a re-inspection. You inspected, you gave them a re-inspection.
yep.
This is only after that? This is technically
That's
the
only
third time?
after that, yep.
So,
So first re-inspection is free, second re-inspection $150, third re-inspection $150.
well, I count that 4.
But the first inspection is an
First one is
inspection.
So the first one is when you just go, because that's what
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
just an
do.
But they
inspection.
should be at this level anyway.
So
How we
this-
have to work in the hospital,
yeah,
like,
so
we
this-
can't just be like.
These fees are the fees to run their establishment,
Yes.
correct? The,
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever,
well, yeah.
everything
License
is-
them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have a re-inspection fee to begin with?
No,
Okay, and what you're saying is sometimes the individual has to go out 2, 3, maybe 4 times?
mhm,
Well, that is a waste of that person's time.
yeah.
How much do we pay that person hourly? I know it's shared.
Yeah, so it's a grant, and I believe it's $100 per inspection.
Is what he or she gets paid if they go and do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they're getting paid at least 100, I agree, the re-inspection should be 150. Because if they go out and look at this, I don't know, catering or whatever,
Mhm.
they get $100, they would get paid $100 just to do that. And then if they find X, Y, and Z, and they go back,
So that's the second inspection.
that would be the second inspection.
Yes,
But that won't count the 150 now, because, yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
so it's the
Yeah.
third inspection. So they're basically getting
Two frees, is that what you want, 2 frees, and then get them
Yes.
on the third?
yes.
That's right, I said I would kill
Well,
them.
why not?
I
I
don't care
would-
if we're on the third.
Well, because like you go into a restaurant, sometimes if they're like in a rush or if a lot
It's
of
during a
things
busy
going on.
night and they come,
Yeah.
okay.
And for me, every time, I don't care how clean you are, I'm going there to look for a violation.
no, that's
And I will
understandable.
find it, which I think they should have a chance to like, fix it, yep.
Yeah, but why can't they fix it by the second time you come out?
Yeah, they should fix it by the second time we come out.
But if you put the 150 for the second one, then it's probably no guarantee that you're going out again. Because if they know, now I'm gonna have to pay
Extra.
for the second one.
Correct.
I gotta do everything in my power to get that fixed, so I don't have to have them come out a third time and pay another. Or do 100 for the second one and 150 for the third.
Because the first one is like an initial
Well, the first one's
inspection, right?
free.
It's
First
Right,
free.
first one's free, and then the second inspection, $100.
Which you are giving them an opportunity to correct.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But they didn't, so
So-
then maybe they only pay 100 for the second one. If they got everything all done at the end of this, by the time they go in the second time, they just pay $100. But if they don't have everything all done, then you gotta come out a third time and they gotta pay 150. So if they realize if I do it, everything that should be done for the hundo, then I don't have to spend 250. Am I not understanding this correctly?
So you're saying for the initial inspection, which is required by the state to have,
Yeah, so
to
let's
be
say
have
you
done.
find 4 violations in that first one. You come out, you find 4.
Yeah,
They're not getting fined for those 4. They're not getting shut down unless it's egregious, right? Of some sort, you have to like shut them down right away.
Yeah.
So they got 4 violations that need to be remedied in 30 days or 2 weeks.
okay,
You're going back out to check on those 4.
yeah,
That's free right now.
yeah. So if it's all corrected.
What makes them
Wanna
want to
get
fix
it
these
done
4?
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's nothing, no impetus behind that, because you're still gonna let them come, fix it for another 2 or 3
Because she
more
has,
weeks.
if they don't fix this, she has to then come back out again another week. And then when she goes out again, that's when they're gonna get hit.
Right, but
So
I
it's-
say $100 for the second inspection, 150 for the third,
So if.
I-
200 for a fourth.
If all the violations are corrected on the second visit, do we still charge them?
I think that's the question we're trying to figure out now,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, so if she comes out the second time and they got it all 4, are we charging them $100 or no?
Maybe not, maybe not fee, not
So you can do
charge them.
something, the fee would be
Yeah.
waived if violations are remedied.
And then if they're not,
Yeah.
And if they're not, you have to come out anyways for a third time.
Third.
That's when you add the 150 on top of it. So you can do 100, like I would say $100, fee waived.
if all the
If violations
are resolved.
resolved, right? Like it happens with my health insurance. If I go to the emergency room, it's $300. Doesn't matter, show up, it's $300. Waived if I'm admitted. You know, it's just like, okay, you know? So I'm not just showing up with like a hangnail all the time. But I do know that it's gonna be a fee.
Okay, so you're saying when you go back for that second inspection, which is a re-inspection, if everything is corrected, there's no fine.
Yep. Or there's
No fee.
No
No
fee,
fee.
no fee,
Okay, no fee.
yeah. Cause then you don't have to go there a third time.
But
Yeah.
if they've done 2 out of the 4, they still have 2 left over, they get a $100 fee,
Fine, base or fine.
fine, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you go back the third time, if they're not all done, then they pay another $150.
which is kinda same thing.
Well, I would double it then, make it 200.
Well,
Or
I did
300.
100, 150, 200 for second, third, and fourth.
But isn't that the same thing? If everything is correct, when you go back for reinspection, everything's correct, they're good. We're
Yeah,
not
but-
finding them.
Well,
But if
you
there's a-
could if you.
If there's a violation, then just make it, if it's kind of the same thing, you're finding them $150 because now you have to go for that second reinspection.
Right.
So why are we finding them
Inspection,
$150
reinspection,
for, or $100 for a reinspection?
Well, because the second one, you went back and they should have done their work, but they didn't. So they pay the fee for $100. So as Michael was saying, there was 4 issues, they completed 2 out of the 4. They didn't say that we got this problem, you just showed up and, so you're gonna go back a third time just looking for those 2 to be completed. If they're completed, then you don't charge them $150, but let's say they only did 1 out of the 2. Charge them for the $150, because you're gonna have to go back a 4th time.
I think I kinda understand something. So if you waive the fee on the 3rd visit, then it's the same as only charging on the 3rd one.
Yeah, second,
Yeah, so then you would-
second visit, 'cause
You would
right now.
get charged on the 2nd, but if you had done everything, then you were not charged on the 3rd. So then it's the same as not charged, you're still not charging for 2 visits. So it's still the same as only charging for the 3rd. Unless we're saying that regardless of whether you fix the problem, just because you had us come out 3 times, we're still gonna fine you. So there's a charge for having us come the 3rd time.
I think it needs to be spelled out a little
Yeah.
bit better, because if we're having this,
If you keep
Discussion.
waiving it, then we might as well just leave it for
Well,
the 3rd. 'cause
you would
that-
only waive it if they did everything. So you go in today, and there's 4 issues wrong, and you say, I'll be back in 2 weeks. If you go back in 2 weeks, and they did all 4 issues,
Yeah.
then there's no fine.
Yes.
But if they didn't do all 4, they did 2 out of the 4, the fine is $100.
Yes,
And you still gotta go back a 3rd time.
yes.
And if they did the other 2, then yeah, you're back at 100, but if they didn't do the other 2, then you would charge them now an additional $150.
Okay,
So you
I
would get-
now I understand that piece. I thought the 3rd one was going to be at no cost, but if it's at a minimum of 100, then that's fine. So that means if an inspector goes there 3 times and everything is completed on the 3rd visit, the owner is paying a total of $200, from what you're saying. And if everything isn't done, and on the 3rd visit, then it's a charge of $250, so 100 plus 150, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so you might get my thought process is, if they realize it's 100, 150, and 200, they're gonna eventually understand that I gotta get it all done by the first time and only pay that first fee, was my thought of $100. So if everything's all done after that first one, obviously you don't charge them, but if you gotta come back, how many times do you gotta go back to an establishment on average? That would probably be the helpful piece, like average.
With this company, he goes out a little bit more than I would like. When I do inspection, it's just usually like 1 or 2, and they get things done with me because I have conversations with them. So I expect everything done to be after my, doing my reinspection. That's when it should all be completed, because I gave you a chance, you correct all of these violations. But if all of that violations is not corrected, which is kind of the same thing you were saying, because now I have to go the next one. Now, I wanna make sure, you're paying for that, second, or that, in your
Okay.
case, your 3rd, inspections. That's where, but, which is kind of, I think kind of the same thing you said. First inspection, you got violations, that's free, right? Second inspections, you go in, and there's, still if there's no violation, it's free, right?
Yes, yes.
And then,
If there's not, then you pay $100 fee
yep.
on that
which-
second one.
Which kind of pay for the next inspection. This one, it's just sounds like you're paying it prior to us going out for the third inspection.
So,
Well, I
the
think-
second one, if everything is done on the second one, you're being rewarded, as in no fee. So it's like, there's a carrot there in front of you to say, if you do it, there's no fee, right? But if you have 4 and you've done 3, you've done 3, or you've done 2, now you're having the inspector come in a third time, and so now you have to pay for the second one.
We have to pay the guy.
So you pay for the 100 for the second one, and when they come the third time, you have to pay another 100. And if you're not done, then that third visit is no longer 100, it's 250. So it makes it such that
So it's almost
you
like I don't have to.
you want to have it done the second time around, so you don't pay anything at all.
Okay. I feel like that's the same thing, but if that's how you guys wanna put it, which is kind of,
So we have to pay $100 for the guy no matter what to go out, each time he goes out. So
Yes.
the price should increase by $100 each time he goes out. So if he has to go 4 times, $400. Because we're basically paying his salary to go up there.
Well, they're paying.
Or
They're paying
they're
his
paying for
salary.
him to go up again, which shouldn't be on the grant, it shouldn't be on anybody else. You're paying for him to come back out for the re-inspection. But if you fixed it, the second, because this is only
Yeah.
gonna take place after the first re-inspection, is the way you wrote so it's technically, to me, it was inspection, re-inspection is number 2, and then you were gonna start the fee on the third inspection.
yep, if the inspector has to go out the third time, that's where the fee starts.
When we were gonna say what motivates them for fixing the violations for the
By
second.
the second one.
By the second.
So you don't have to go out.
Because there's the fees that you have, if all of that is not paid, there's the fee that, there's a fee that you have to pay for. Because now we're sending our inspector out, that's it's still a fee that they have to pay.
Right,
Oh.
but what we're saying is they should pay a fee on the second one, not the third one.
Are they paying a fee for every single time that inspector goes out there?
Not the
No.
first one, not the second one.
Yeah, that's
So
what we're.
that's the difference. We're like,
He should have.
they should go the second, third, and fourth. Because if you told me I gotta fix 4 things, cause you're coming back in 2 weeks, and I'm a business food establishment, you gave me the violation, cause it must be pretty serious, I should have that fixed. I shouldn't be getting all this time, weeks, to fix the violation. That's kinda not right. For people that are going there to eat, whatever the violation might have been. But if you make it more stringent, that by the second one, we were saying $100 for that second one, and then if they got it all fixed, then that would be waived. Then if they didn't, and they still needed, Michael's numbers are a little bit more than mine, if they go back a third time, he has it at $200, $100 to pay the grant guy, and then $100 for Tyngsborough. And then if he has to go in the 4th time, then that's $300, $100 back to the grant, technically. It's not really going back to the grant, but then $200 for Tyngsborough. I think if you get them in their pockets, I think the violations will be fixed quicker.
And on the third visit, is it 200 regardless of whether
He had 300. He was worse than me, I was only 200.
Well, I was trying to pay, because the first one was gonna be waived, because
yeah. No, so,
you didn't have it, so nothing changes for that person right now.
So inspection number 3, if everything is in order on the third visit, will it still be 200 regardless, whether done or not done, it's still 200?
Yeah,
Okay.
because not only does he have to come out the time before, he's coming out the third time, so it's literally.
So by the third
it's
time, we've
$100
paid
every
for
time he comes
all
out, so
three.
it actually equals $200
Yeah.
for him going out there the third time.
So the
Because you were
third,
waiving the second, like, we weren't charging them for the re-inspection.
Only if they did everything.
No, in the new model, but currently today.
Oh, yeah.
We're not, we're getting charged $100 to the grant for him to go out there, let's say, to do the re-inspecting. And if they're done, they're done. Because he went out there once and he was like, yeah, you guys fixed it all, great job. He still cost $100 to go out there. Whether it was to the town or the grant, I don't care. To go out there the third time, which is where you were writing to enact a fee, is another $100 for him to drive out there, so it's literally $200. Still, with the town making nothing, it's $200 for him, because he had to go out the week before and he's coming back again. So that's now $200 for him to drive out there twice. That's all I was saying, it's like, so it wasn't that it wasn't so expensive, it was basically break even. And we were waiving it, it just put some monetary things on it to say, if you don't fix it by the time you re-inspect, the $100 is going to be there, because it's gotta pay for them to come out.
would you consider, everything after the third to be a flat 200 as opposed to 300? Because then the question becomes, okay, what
We
happens?
can do that again, yeah.
What happens if we go beyond 4?
Yeah, it'd be 17, yeah, maybe you just compound it every time, every additional time after that, it's just, oh, it's another 200, because it's the next re-inspection, so it's another 200, it's another 200, it's another 200.
On average, when it was you doing this, what is the worst number of times you've gone back to one establishment?
Probably 3 times.
So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna be any
Okay, so it's not,
different.
you're not really gonna ever really hit
Yeah.
this.
But it's there, should it?
Yeah, or you just leave it at 200, and then subsequent will be just the you pay the max 200 every time. So if somebody has to go out there the 4th time, it's another 200, so the worst they're paying is 100, 200, 300 plus another $500 for all those extra re-inspections.
But is this current inspector, you said that he's going back a lot, is it because it's a learning curve for that individual, or they're finding different things than what you used to find, or is he valid in his inspections?
He is valid in his inspections. I don't think he's as forceful, because they're like, and I think when you do inspections, there's also like an education piece of it.
Yeah.
And making it known that all of this needs to be corrected, and I expect it to be corrected when I come back. So
Mhm.
you have to be a little bit forceful and firm. I don't know what is his style, because it's required that when there's violations, he has to read it with the person in charge.
Yeah.
And said these are the violations.
Okay.
And it needs to be corrected the next time when I come back. So, his boss is gonna do, an audit with him. So if he goes into a place, his boss is gonna I just gave him permission to go in after him and see how he did with his inspections.
Okay.
And he's gonna interview with the person in charge and all of it. And it's not like, oh, you have to let me audit, it's like, can I have the permission to go and audit this person?
Seems like they're doing their
Yeah.
diligence, that's great. So in this way, I think this will give, whether he's young or in the profession forever, this puts a little teeth behind it to say, it's not me, you're gonna have to pay for me to come back. That's all I was saying, it was like, it's
Yeah.
not like, I get the 150, yeah, we want 150, but I think it just doesn't put enough, because that 150 doesn't start until the 3rd time, and we're already being short $50 if he's $100 every time he goes out there.
Yeah.
Because he had to go out there initially, which is on everybody, it's on the grant. Goes out there again, it's still on the grant. Goes out there the 3rd time was really the only time we were gonna actually try to get some money out of you. But that now costs the grant $300 for him to get out there. Am I like overthinking it?
I think you're looking.
carried it away.
I
know.
get what you were
I think
saying.
you're looking at
I'm
things from
looking-
your experience, maybe at a
compliance.
a smaller facility where it would be.
I don't mind like
A
the
little
dollar a
expensive,
month, I
yeah.
don't mind the dollar a month, I just like, I'm looking for compliance from these people, right?
Okay.
I like, okay, I get it, that second re-inspection, it should have been done. Now, since it's not done, you are going to being penalized for, because it's not done. So, if that's how you want to do it,
I mean, would you,
go for.
I'm looking to you, would you want something, some language in there to, subject to the inspector? Like I want him, like, it's almost like a fine. I mean, these why they have fines. We don't have fines on here, if I remember, right? Like monetary fines.
No.
You get a violation, you get a fine for it, but you don't get monetary for it. Like, would that help him? He can enact this if he's like, they're totally not listening to me. I'm going to let this go through and leave it up to the inspector to whether they want to enforce it. I mean, I don't mind giving you guys that authority.
Because remember, if there's a violation, there's a problem.
Yeah.
So waiting 3 separate visits to have the problem rectified seems too long.
And I'm not an inspector, so I don't know what the level of violations, like, if there's soft violations, like, the temperature of the fridge was at 41, I need it to be at 40. I don't know.
Yeah. So
You
anything
know?
that's like food related temperature and stuff like that, he make them throw it out. It's
Yeah.
like, it's,
So they
that's
lost
been out
profit.
of temperature
Yeah.
abuse, that's like gonna be thrown out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your
That's the health.
dishwasher is not rinsing at the right temperature, you go and you should 3 compartment sink in. So there is a way of like backing things up, I guess you can say. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, these, anything that's like, that could cause foodborne illness or that's
Yeah.
immediate.
Yeah.
It needs to be taken care of immediately.
Yeah, those are immediate,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
resolutions, you
Yeah.
need to fix it now, yeah. So I would call it like the red category. They're up there.
Mhm.
The dishwasher, he comes back the second time and the dishwasher's still not fixed. And they're like, yeah, but we were using that other thing and
Yeah, and that doesn't matter because we order you to fix the
fix it.
dishwasher.
Yep. Yeah, but he's gonna have to come out the third time to see if it's fixed. I'm just trying to break even, because this is the third, that's $300 that he had to come out initially. The second time, and then you didn't fix it because you, and maybe that's education audit stuff, but I don't know, like, obviously he's doing the right thing, and I'm like, but they're doing the right thing if they're getting the food stuff thrown out, that's already like lost revenue for the business already.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to do that because
Yeah.
self-evident that it should be. So, I don't know, what do we?
Were you more comfortable with 200 at the 3rd visit?
I'm fine with, yeah, whatever you guys wanna set, I'm fine with it, I just wanna like some, I guess, penalty, you
help
can
you,
say it,
yeah.
to just make them like, okay,
There's something at
This-
stake.
yeah. because if that second re-inspection, if it's all done, then good, you don't have to pay
The oth-
anything,
the
yeah.
oth- The other way to say it is kind of what she was saying, like, the re-inspection after the re-inspection is automatically 200, and we just cancel that, because then it will cover the first 2 anyways.
Right, but I think if it's there and they think they got money
Yeah.
back, it's
Look, I
better
saved
to have it and
$100.
say, yeah, and we're not gonna, charge you. I would leave that
Okay,
personally.
sorry.
Hey, even if it's really no money in my pocket, I'd be like, hey, look, I got $100 off because you tell us what you want.
She's like, you tell me.
I get what what you said, but it's just kind of, I think, make the language a little bit, it kind of, to me, it kind of feels like it creates a little bit of confusion,
Okay.
because it's like, okay, here's the initial inspection, get all of this fixed for me. And then they get it all fixed, but because you have to go out a second time, you're telling them, hey, because we have to go out for re-inspection, we have to charge you for it.
No, we
No,
we
only
were
if they
waiving that.
haven't fixed
If they didn't
the
fix it.
violations.
Yeah.
If you
From
go back
that
the
first
second
inspection.
time
But
and
she has,
everything's.
she's
But-
saying
but
she
then
has to
the
go
third
out to
time-
inspect it, to see if they corrected it.
Right, and so it's kind of a wash, yeah.
Yep, so it's this sort, I think what you're saying is sort of like a pre-penalizing before they go out the third time.
Mhm.
And then you're going out the third time, and now you're charging them for, I guess, another fee on top of it. So you're still charging them, you're going out the third time, you're still charging them. But it's just a matter of, like, now you're just saying, oh, you know what, we're charging you for the second re-inspection because you didn't get it done. Now I'm going to the third one. Now, clump that, both of those fees together if you
Together.
want. I think it's just make it clear.
So just 200 then?
Just,
I-
200 on the third one.
sure.
Instead of the 150 that she originally wrote, because that at least covers both times that they got out. And it's a wash.
Okay. See what you-
Yeah,
See what you mean, yeah.
but what if
It's-
you go out on that third time and it's still not done? What are you doing?
Another 200,
So
or
we
we
gotta-
can bring
Yeah.
it,
So you
Yeah.
gotta write that.
Yeah.
yep, and then, or if you want, instead of that, I can bring you before you guys and, but I don't wanna go like the fourth or the fifth time, because I do want them to like, hey,
Fix the problem.
Right.
fix
Yeah,
the
I mean-
problem.
They could always come here on number 4, if you're
Yeah.
having that much trouble.
Shut them down, I think that's what you have to do, in all honesty.
Yeah.
If they're not fixing it, their facility should be shut down until they get it fixed, period. And then you pay another $200, because Carrie's gotta go out and check it.
Check it anyways, yeah.
You're dealing with food establishments, it's like this, let's go over and over and over again, back and forth, it has to stop.
Yeah, no, I think most of them are pretty good. I mean, they comply, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's because like, oh, there's, you know, food debris under like that. You have to move your equipment. They clean it, they just kind of push everything back. That's not satisfactory. No, you have to clean it. So
Mhm.
that's usually like, okay.
Yeah,
You
like
didn't do it properly, you did it, but it's not.
You wanna be
properly.
John Taffer when you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you yelling at them too? No, I mean, you have to.
No, I mean, and that's literally what he was doing.
Right, you
It's
have-
just,
Yeah,
you didn't clean this. I asked him, and I've seen people stay all night and clean it until it's spotless the next, and he wants it the next morning, you
Yeah.
know? Like, he was like, I'm going back tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, I think the conversation with you have with them is good, but I think this puts some teeth behind it to say,
Yeah.
better make sure that you clean that, because I'm
Right.
coming back the third time, it's gonna be $200.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's not even like I don't look at it as $200, I'm looking at it as like just to break even.
Mhm.
The 3 times that you've had to come out there, because the first one's free. And then after that, you can make it up, if you want us to write a 4th re-inspection requires a hearing, or may require a hearing at the inspector's.
don't use
Just
may.
do that 200, and then anything, it's just like, okay, I'll just bring it, you know, if I
Yeah, there's
feel
no
that it-
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't put may have to come in front of the
Yeah.
board, put will be expected to come in front of the board.
All right, so we're changing 150 to 200?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
So we have to take a vote, or we can just do this?
let's take a vote.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have to do a motion then.
I make a motion that we accept the additional reinspection fee after the first reinspection. So the second reinspection fee for food establishments to be $200.
So your second.
And should there be a required third reinspection? The establishment would have to meet in front of the board. Is that what you wanted? Third? Or after the third?
After the third.
After the third, after the third reinspection, the food establishment would be required to meet with the Board of Health.
Would the third reinspection be for?
Inspection.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Echo. Okay, any further discussion? We got that. Okay, we'll, take a vote. Sheila?
In favor.
Echo?
Big favor.
And I'm in favor as well.
Wonderful.
Did you get it
All
right?
right. Thank
Heated
Lisa
debate.
will get it.
Yeah. All right, so now we have to go back to the body art regulation.
I'm sorry.
update. Thought that was
I
a
thought
quick,
it was a
huh?
quick one.
Yeah, you were wrong.
All right, so I think we looked in here and there was a couple of sections we just wanted to update.
Yeah.
Was one of them the education piece? Because that's always been a topic of which skin course, and we wanted to tackle any of that in this, or are we just leaving that as, we have a list of skin courses?
I think that's fine, our list.
Our list is fine,
A and
okay.
P, 1 or 2, whichever one,
Yep.
in the skin course is I think okay.
Okay.
I think what you guys wanted to tackle was the mop sink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, the single use,
The autoclaving, but
Autoclaving.
after I thought about that, we might need to keep the autoclaving in, because they're roller machines that they put the disposable needles to. Does that piece have to be autoclaved? Like the little pen, they call it pen or rollers,
that connects to
that connects to the
needle.
disposable needle. I would wonder if that ever needs to be autoclaved, and so should we keep the autoclaving piece there and add something in about just the use of disposable needles, obviously don't need to be autoclaved. And then the other thing was the use of the jet sweeper in place, but I am not really sure if that kills the blood, if the blood is on the floor.
So one of the tattoo artists, I think he makes a great point, when if there's like blood and stuff, right? You use a mop sink, and you use one of those wet mop, and you use it to wipe like, the blood, right? And you wash it, it doesn't, even you wash it and you soak it in like those, water, it doesn't really like take away the, bacteria from it. But if you use like one of those disposable mop, you clean it, you know, there's blood and stuff, spray it, clean it, you actually like throw away that
Yeah,
piece and,
like a wet jet.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a wet jet. And they have like, I think those ultracide where they can like spray ahead of time too, and then, you know, and then they dispose that mop pad where you use the one with, like a mop with a
Yeah.
mop sink and stuff.
You
It
just
stays
transfer
in
it,
your, yeah, it stays in your mop,
mop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with what
Yeah.
you're saying, but I think, so the piece that's kind of getting lost in this, that probably got lost in that, was the percentage of bleach to water that you would pick up blood in the first place. So if they're gonna use the Swiffer jet and just use the chemicals with the Swiffer jet, then they're not really picking the blood up if there was blood on the floor. So they would need a chemical that they spray on the blood and then use a Swiffer jet and then obviously throw it away in a biohazardous bag. Would be my thought.
Okay. So maybe have, right in there whether it's like either that bleach solution that's gonna kill the bacteria or some kind of like, solution that they can spray ahead of time, maybe kind of spell it out.
Yeah, you use high-level disinfection.
Yeah, and they can buy that, I'm sure.
With that said, do you have to spell out like, you said high disinfection, what's the chemical level that it needs to be, or it just like, okay, if there's a chemical that said it will kill the bacteria, kill the whatever.
Well, from what I understand, there's cleaning and then there's sterilization,
Yeah.
which is like no pathogens, no bacteria, no nothing. In the hospital, we use Cidex. That's high-level disinfection.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, you don't want any of that transferable. But you want to, like, your example of blood on the floor, you want to be able to, we call it an enzymatic cleaner. That way it breaks down all the enzymes, proteins, anything like that. Bleach will kill blood, right?
Yep.
And then that mop head must be disposable of some sort. So nothing gets transferred to a closet, sits there, gets black mold, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know what they use in these establishments, but I think we should somehow look for where that wet mop or that mop storage closet is and just write it out and say it must be disposable. And we're probably already doing it, we just don't have it written down.
Yeah.
It's like what product that they use is.
Yeah, so I think with the 3 establishments we have, they don't really have a mop sink.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think
Aaron and them had a mop
a
sink.
mop sink, yeah, but I think they've been using like the Swiffer jet.
That's what I'm saying, they probably like have
Yeah.
updated to the point where they're like, oh, we don't use that anymore, but they
Yeah.
haven't. So it's when the new Moth and Meadow starts and they're like, do I have to put this thing in? And it's like,
Yeah.
probably not, you know. So they've been grandfathered, is probably what they used earlier on, and now it's
Yeah.
just products that come out. Where you don't need to.
On page 8, under exemptions, this is just simple, it says ear piercers. Individuals who perform earlobe piercing are exempt from this regulation. Can we put individuals who perform only earlobe piercing? It's just a minor additional word, because some of the piercers may interpret that, oh, I do ear piercing, plus I do piercing of everything else. This would be just,
Yeah,
you know,
makes sense.
the place at the mall that you could get it.
If they ever
At
open
the
it,
paper
that's
store, you can get it done, your ears pierced at the paper store.
really the whole.
Yeah, somebody needs that.
It just doesn't seem to like go hand in hand.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's mine, that one.
Yeah, so this really goes to like Claire's and the mall.
Yeah,
You
yes,
go there.
yes. Which we don't have it.
I know,
But,
you never know. It's
So
an
the
open up any shop.
4.2 should read individual who performs only
Oh.
earlobe
yeah,
piercing. Okay,
Yeah,
just to be clear, I think
Yeah.
that's clear, but,
yeah.
it's definitely clearer than before.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where is the one with the fee? Customer clients, apprenticeship, body art establishments. What was that, temporary? Hand washing, so janitorial, so 17, section 8 is janitorial sinks.
We need the autoclave, there's autoclave.
Plus, yeah, the autoclave was down the road. So janitorial sink, they start here.
Oh, something else that I wanted. Is it possible for cosmetic tattooing to separate cosmetic tattooing and tattooing of the areola as two? You can do that as one, but two separate checkoffs? Because I think what we wrote in regards to the areola, a practitioner performing areola restoration shall have completed a minimum of 8 hours in-person training approved by the society. But I'm not sure we're checking that on page 10.
Page 10.
Yeah.
They do the eyeballs, so.
Well, that's for like somebody that had a mastectomy, they could do the areola,
Oh, okay,
and they do
okay,
it
that makes sense,
3D.
yeah.
So, page 10,
Page 10,
number,
so it was, well, it started off on on page 9.
Okay.
So what I'm asking you is, can we, on the license, separate cosmetic tattooing?
okay.
And then have like a subdivision that they could check off areola, instead of just having it as one.
Okay,
That way we can monitor if they are doing areola tattooing. We can
In town,
ensure that they took the course, because they would have to validate that they took that course, number one. And number two, it's just not assumed because I'm doing cosmetic tattooing and that's a form of cosmetic tattooing. I don't have to prove anything.
Because we actually spelled it out as saying a practitioner performing areola restoration shall have completed a minimum of 8-hour in-person training program. Because we spelled it out, we just don't have it spelled out.
We don't have it spelled out on the license, I do not believe.
I think we have it all
Okay.
as, yes, I think you're right, it just,
all right. So
It's not-
just another check off item
Yeah.
Correct.
with areola.
we're not rewriting the cosmetic tattooing.
No, we're not rewriting
The
that, it's just
regulation.
Yeah.
on that, and then you would
Just
need.
add areola to it.
Yeah.
Right, and we would need validation for the first time. Somebody comes through and says, oh, I do that, if they check it off. You just
Yeah.
need to see that they took the course.
The 8-hour,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
So was it the janitorial sink or the instrument sink? Or the bath, no. We would call it wet bath.
Um, The autoclave stuff is on page 16, where it's with the workstation. Under separate areas. Number 1, every body art establishment should have a cleaning area. Every cleaning area should have an area for the placement and the use of the autoclave or other sterilization unit located or positioned to be a minimum of 36 inches from the required ultrasonic cleaning unit. The cleaning area shall be used for no other purposes.
So that's a
I see.
cleaning area.
I'm not sure I think we thought of getting rid of the autoclave, because if you remember, she came for a variance.
Yeah,
Because she stated that she was using all disposable needles. But my question is, what about like the pen or the hand device, which is metal? Is there any chance that that needs to be autoclaved? Is my question. I'm just like, did we do the right thing by giving her the variance and saying, no, you don't need the autoclave? And maybe they would know the best, because maybe they don't need the autoclave. And if they-
let's look that up as to like what should be autoclave. because, you may be correct, because, you know, you got the hose, and then that metal
Handle.
part,
The handle, right?
yeah, where you hold it, and then the needle that, does the actual tattooing. But I also know that they kinda like wrap everything up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like-
they shouldn't wrap that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cause they don't
they-
want
they-
that to get blood
Right.
on it, 'cause
Yeah.
maybe they can't autoclave it, cause I think of my
Like,
TV
because they
procedures.
have batteries in it and make it
Yeah,
destroy.
my handle can't go into
Yeah, I feel
my
like it's
disinfectant.
almost like I worked in a dental office
Yes.
and their hand pieces I don't believe those went in the autoclave, but the attachment,
That was
right,
in
their
someone's
burrs
mouth.
or their, like
Correct.
that kind of stuff would go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing with
In
our
the
PE
auto-
probes, like our
So
handle
maybe it's like that.
can't be autoclaved, it can't be cleaned, but we have to disinfect that with,
But I think that
Yeah.
ultrasonic cleaning unit may be able to clean the hand thing.
So it needs an autoclave and an ultrasonic unit?
ultrasound clinic unit shall mean a unit approved by the board and physically large enough to fully submerge instruments in liquid that removes all foreign matter from the instrument by means of high frequency oscillations.
Well, that would be different. I'm wondering if, what page you on?
This was page 7 here, the
Oh,
ultrasonic
way back
cleaning
there.
unit.
Oh, okay.
The definition of it.
Maybe we just need to put in something that the hand tools are protected
Yeah,
from any bloodborne pathogens.
because you have tattoo gun, which is, shall mean electric, vertically vibrating tool for tattooing. But, yeah, like you said, to go with the times, they probably just have updated those to the battery operated, single, well, the needles are single-use disposables, so they're not.
And I think one thing I read is like jewelry, if they put jewelry in a tattoo, the jewelry needs to be autoclaved. I don't know, I read that today. So maybe we may not wanna get rid of the autoclaving piece and maybe find out if that is true. I was doing a quick dive, it wasn't a deep dive.
Anatomy of a tattoo machine, I love it.
Oh, it's still up there, okay.
Makes sense, I mean,
They also do have disposable tattoo guns as well that
Yeah.
get thrown away after everything's done.
it just makes the profession that much safer. And
Right.
less infections, their liability insurance goes down, like, it's all like an investment within themselves, but it's just.
Just wanna see like.
I guess I think we just gotta, before we get rid of the autoclaving piece, to make sure something doesn't need to go in there.
'Cause some of them used to have the ink wells and now they just dip it in that ink well and
Mhm.
there's like a completely different workflow that they're doing. But also behoove to have like a small little subcommittee
I think we can check with Tony too. He
Yeah.
would be the person.
to. And that's kind of what it looks like now.
Needle
barrel,
goes on the end, yeah.
back of needle. So that's probably all of it gone,
Yeah, the coils, I saw that word before, coils. and-
Where's the flex capacitor?
Cause you can buy some of the stuff on Amazon, believe it or not.
Buy everything.
That came out.
Can't you?
Not sure
Save
they-
2 years, save a few $100.
I'm like, no, I don't think Amazon would be a good reference for tonight, so I got off of it, but. I think we just gotta double check for the autoclave, does anything have to go in that autoclave before we take it out?
Yeah.
Cause we have, so we have do-it jewelry.
Yeah, you can get a gun for like $50.
It says jewelry that was previously worn is prohibitive. You know, grapes. Yeah, cause we have rotary pens too on 19. So they do have disposable casings to be cleaned and then sterilized, though it said. I think we should just hold on the autoclaving for just a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, cause these are model regulations after. Yeah. these
And
came
that
in.
way, everyone else
Yeah.
that's not here can weigh in on them too, next time we come.
And I think I sent you guys the NEHA regulation, that, the kind of model regulation too. They just really like came up with it, they just created it, I think about a year ago.
Okay.
So maybe review
That's
that
an
as well.
app in what you sent us for this one?
No, it's under NEHA, I can look it up and I can send it to you guys.
Okay.
Okay. And then we just gotta kind of quickly look at that sink, and then we'll,
So sink, I think it's,
page 17.
17 was a janitorial sink. But I don't remember it saying mop sink. Maybe
But that would have been the mop sink.
that would have been the mop sink.
Yeah.
Okay.
For cleaning body establishment and any equipment used in cleaning.
Or to dispose of liquid waste, so you use a hand washing sink.
Maybe we just need a statement. They should have janitorials. They should have a sink that's dedicated to cleaning. Which has
Yeah.
been the issue, right? Is that correct, Carrie? Like,
What is it?
having the janitorial sink in some of these places has been the issue, or do they all have at least one sink?
The janitorial sink is basically a mop sink,
Yeah.
so,
But they're not using mops, they're using like a wet jet type style
Yeah.
to clean
Yeah.
the facility.
So does the newest facility have a janitorial sink?
no,
No,
no
But we get a
janitorial
waiver
sink.
for them.
we did get, so,
So we can either leave the waiver process in place, and they can explain,
Or you can set have that or that.
yeah. Yeah, but I don't know what the wet jet is, maybe, is, we should go in a hot.
yeah,
Disposable mop head,
Mop pad or something like that,
yeah.
yeah.
And in case where there's a blood spill or something, that there should be a high in,
I think it's 1 in 10, like 1 part bleach and 10 parts water is what they need to be
What they're
cleaning up
yeah.
blood spills.
Isn't there a section how to disinfect?
Is there a disinfection one? Disinfection means destruction of pathogen microbes using a liquid chemical germicide. Disinfectant shall be the same as a liquid chemical germicide.
There you go, it's already in there, right?
The definition's there, where it's written.
I think page 22 has
Okay.
equipment and instrument maintenance, contaminated instruments.
Bathroom plumbing, every bathroom, all plumbing furniture shall be kept clean, all instruments.
And another thing that, we should look at is, we have given the hand sink, the pump the portable hand sink.
Oh, they didn't have the plumbing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Do they still have it? Have you been there to?
So, I was just there the other day. That one is not in use because he lost some of his tattoo artists. So only 3 is open where before he had 6.
Yeah.
So he's, but he still have it if he
Yeah,
is
just in
to
case he gets
open
more.
it back.
Because he bought it, right?
He
He's not
bought it,
renting it. Okay.
yeah. And then just to give you guys a heads up, Martin Meadow is looking to rent the other space that just literally just opened up. And she's looking to maybe come before you guys to get that, because she said she invested a lot of money in the other one. She won't be able to afford like the second part to have a plumb-in hand sink. So she was talking to me about the variance for the hand sink. First, she wants to use the restroom, and it's like, that's a no-no, that's definitely cannot be done. And then she said, what about a portable hand sink? I said, that's something that you have to come before the board.
She would have to show, though, the reason we did it for the other establishment had to do with the way the place was constructed in the first place.
Yeah, it has to
And
be
that it was
pumped
so cost prohibitive to have it replumbed. Not sure her place would be in the same. I understand it's a cost issue, no one would wanna pay that cost, but if it's not, I guess if it's something that a plumber can't do, then we can look at the sink, but if it's something that can be done, I would rather have a regular sink in there. That was in one of his rooms that he was using, the portable sink.
Yeah. Yeah. She's gonna have the same kind of argument because like even with the sink that she's having right now, the reason it costs so much, because the water needs to be pumped up and then travel and then come to the sink that she's using. So if she's to open another one, it's just kind of probably the same way. It's the pump system or something. So sure, I said, well, have all that argument, have all of that, be ready to like make your case. And then she wants to do half wall, which I think is okay because it's still like separate the area, but still it's gonna be up to you guys. So instead of like a fully enclosed room, it's gonna be like half wall between 2 stations.
Well, we approved that already, so it was present, we have to. But I think you should be in a private.
But the thing is, I think,
Certain parts of the body are being tattooed, might be a privacy issue.
Yeah.
But I think it's high enough where it's like, because you're gonna be laying down, like, it's just not to the ceiling, I think it's like 4 or 5 feet high. So there's still some privacy, but it's not just an enclosed room. And it's gonna be, I think, one side is enclosed, so I think it maybe it's just up to the customers if they're comfortable or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a situation where somebody in the middle of tattooing wants to go to the bathroom, right? And then the other person being tattooed is more of a private part of their body or something. They don't want somebody to be able to see. So you have the artist having full view, and then the client, if they want to go to the bathroom, they stand up, they also have a view of it. So it becomes a privacy issue unless she's, have some curtain or something that can be pulled. The 2 places are being used at the same time.
Yeah. Either that or it's gonna do some private part, it shouldn't be allowed in those open
correct,
space.
yeah, I was gonna say, we do this in the hospital too, we have like major procedure rooms and then you have like minor procedure rooms where you can't do all the stuff you do in a major room in a minor room. So you could make a private test to be done in a private room.
Yeah.
But I like your idea of something separating the two rooms for that part that's exposed. That can't cost, I mean, I understand the building changing to add a wall, but I'm sure adding a divider can't be that expensive. So that there's privacy for, you know, someone might be afraid to say, yeah, no, it's okay, I'll do this, but then someone gets up and sees.
So we're looking at 2210,
2210.
page 22, number 10. So this says every rotary pen coil machine shall be immersed in water. Is this where they were saying that I use a disposable?
Well, I think that's different, so maybe those, oh, needles,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah. Needle guard, needle cap, body piercing tubes, rotary pen, coil machine. I know, like, you dispose of that.
oh, so they were in that until cleaned and sterilized, so they do need to be sterilized. The top of it.
Yeah, I think it goes up to the second page. Cleaning area until cleaned and sterilized. Then prior to sterilization, every instrument shall be thoroughly washed and scrubbed. To the appropriate disinfectant of hot water according to manufacturing instructions from the contaminated dry area.
There's an ultrasonic cleaning.
It's really number 5, they're saying 23.
Every such instrument shall be properly sterilized, yes. Oh, we have it in there, or sterilized in another type of solution, sterilizing the unit. Why not?
So is that just dipping it in solution? Sterilized solution?
Well, it looks like you did that before it went into the autoclave.
Mhm.
I think what we have to find out, I think we went with the premise that it was disposable needles, but does
The rest of it.
the rest of it need, it must need somehow to be cleaned.
Yeah, because number 4 references 3, number 3 references 2, and such. That before you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. But was that only for rotary pens, coil machines, and
Right.
those are not, they're battery operated pens now. And are probably just wipeable, self-contained.
Right.
Regulations, NEHA body art model code, regulations, sustainability.
So needle and cartridges, what all single use? You want me to open up the NEHA body art model code?
Is that the new one? Okay.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Mhm.
Just way too much information.
Right.
It's a lot. 34 pages.
Yeah.
How many pages do we have?
Well, we were at like 29, 30. Is that what the most updated?
Yeah, so, it's a national, model code.
Do you have a year that it was put together?
I think it's only a couple years old.
Okay. And maybe we should look at that. And then cross-reference it to this. We don't have to do it now, it's 8:00,
Yeah.
but we could look at it.
2024.
Okay,
Yeah,
All
that'd be
right.
good. Because maybe it answers that question.
yeah. So we can bring this back next time?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys take it with you and cancel it, whatever it is, and if you want, or if not, just put it back in there and we'll bring it back to you.
All right,
Yeah, anything you wanna keep it inside, anything that you don't want, just keep it on the outside and we'll get rid of it for you.
all right, so next would be health director update.
Do we need to take a vote to table the body art?
Yes, I make a motion that we table the body art regulations to our next meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and seconded, any further discussion? No. We'll take a vote, Sheila,
In favor.
Echo,
In favor.
and I'm in favor as well. Motion passes. Health director updates, number 5.
But if you came in through the front, you saw the big, box that asked for donations. Again, that's just part of the baby shower, the community baby shower that's gonna be happening at Old Town Hall in June. We kind of table the, spring health fair, we're not gonna have it because we're doing that.
What do you need for donations?
Baby clothes, it's just like new things, that's pretty much anything baby related, diapers,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. What do you need it by?
It's not until June, so
All
I think June 9, almost like mid-June, so anytime up to there. Feel free to drop it in that box. We got some that's in the Board of Health office. You know, we have all plans and everything scanned now. They're like in electronic files, so we're looking to get our boxes back. 44 boxes, so I'm gonna look into to see if we can like, do we really need to keep it since it's already scanned? Because there's no really like no space for 44 boxes of documents once we like purged it. So so I'll look into that to see if we can just have those documents destroyed.
I think if there's a backup, have it backed up to the cloud, you should be outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Just scan.
Yeah, but the retention records is like some of it, I don't know how it's supposed to work exactly, so I'll try to find out a little bit more about it. I'm going on vacation actually tomorrow, and then be off until till next Wednesday, so I won't be around.
So just in case, if they call me from the fire department.
Call Lisa,
Call
Lisa can get in touch with me if she needs to, and then I think she has all the,
Other inspectors that
yeah.
might need to go out, okay.
yes.
It's been like 2 or 3 times I've been contacted by the dispatch.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think I told you guys the last time we got a community health educator or health specialist. She's been great. She's been, I think, speaking with the fire department, speaking with the police department. She went to the senior center, so just to see like how she can be a part of everything. So and then we're looking to we offer a position. She's just got out of school for a regional health inspector. So she's going to be starting on the 27th. But it'll be a while before she can really go out and do inspections. Going to need all that training. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I think that's all I have. Unless you can think of something.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll move on to meeting minutes for approval. Meeting minutes from March 9th.
I haven't watched it.
We haven't watched it, okay,
No,
so we can't do anything then. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have to table? Table these to the next.
Does this person, did she get the stuff?
No, she hasn't, but I did check her CPR. It was in person.
Okay. We have to do something better, like on that, it's in full and then the regulation that it's in person, for the CPR, but I do feel bad when they don't do it in person and then come here, find out that it needs to be an in-person CPR, and then for me, that's I'm not gonna give that up because these are non-professionals being asked to do CPR, so they should every 2 years do a review of actual compressions on a mannequin.
Yeah. It's on the application, and I think especially like people who's like already had who has been approved for their licenses or renewing, they know it's in
Yeah.
person because like we've been drilling it
Yeah.
on the application. It's an in-person CPR.
What about the skin course? Has she done that?
No, she hasn't. Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay, so we'll have to table these till the next meeting. Do we have to make a motion for that, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we table the Board of Health minutes for Monday, March 9th until our next meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion seconded, no discussion, take a vote, Sheila?
In favor.
Second.
In favor.
I'm in favor, 3-0. No new business, no old business. We can adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting at 8:09 p.m.
I think we passed our deadline.